Good morning from Holyoke. Today it was
Good
actually
morning.
snowing.
Sorry, what?
Today it was actually snowing.
Actually snowing. Well, I'm in sunny Tallahassee, Florida, celebrating the Gators win from last night. Just kidding. They're in Gainesville. Florida State's in Tallahassee.
Didn't they win like 2 nights ago?
They did, yeah, the Final Four, and then they won the championship last night.
Oh, really?
I did not watch it.
No.
Houston with the epic, almost buzzer beater that wasn't. It's pretty brutal last possession for them, but it's all right.
This is we'll give you a Wallace in sports. And now to Harrison with sports.
I watch so much less sports than I used to, like so much. I mean, it's like don't have time for it, and like especially college sports. There's just not an energy about college sports in New England, so there's no one to sort of like hook your enthusiasm to, and then also my team Tar Heels kind of sucked this year, so
Go Duke.
Shut the fuck up. I watched about 30 minutes of college basketball this year.
Do you think you'll be any more bearable to go to games with, or do you think you'll have the same passion erupt?
No, I'm pretty brutal.
When you were just at the Celtics game screaming white guys can't jump, I'm like, oh, that guy would turned around. He was like, but honestly, nothing compares to that time you caught that foul ball.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Still regret giving it to that kid. Some days I'm like, oh, where's that foul ball that I caught? Like, oh yeah, I gave it to that kid.
Man, you turned around, you had your Braves jersey on, and you just were screaming at everybody. It was like the more they booed you, the more you got energized.
Well, I think that's just a product of being an entrepreneur. You just kind of get used to rubbing people the wrong way. And I'll never forget Joel. Shout out to Joel coming on the pod soon. He said one time, he's like, we're entrepreneurs. Sometimes we just rub people the wrong way. And just lean into it. And now just like rubbing people the wrong way now just kind of feeds my energy.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I like conflict less than I used to.
Yeah, the hard conflict I don't love, but it's like the fun kind of gotcha conflict.
Right. Oh, man. Dude, Andrew Cheeky in the stream. Welcome. Oh, my gosh. This guy I used to play drums with when I was like 16 years old, 17. The old school band days back in Irmo, South Carolina. What's up?
Stole his drummer spot?
I had two drummers. Oh man, it's all right. We were all in it for the love.
That's right.
So you want to look at some real estate today?
Let's look at some real estate.
So where do you want to go? Spin a wheel.
Spin a wheel. Let me see. Let's see if I can randomly pick a town. Mattapoisett. No, I don't know where that is. Maybe Mashpee. Maybe there's a Cape flip.
Ooh.
45 single-family listings in Mashpee. Not bad. Let's see what we can find. See if we can find something beat up.
Still.
Or, we could look at something as like an Airbnb rental.
It is it's the land of Airbnb.
It is. This looks like this one looks like it's set up to be an Airbnb. See if we can find something to beat up first and then go from there.
Airbnb should have been thought of by one of the big hotel chains.
Yeah, well, they're just kind of stuck in their ways. Yeah, Airbnb was founded kind of by accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were. I think they were tech guys in San Francisco, and I think the story was that they, there was like a big tech conference, and it was like hotels were slammed, and they were trying to find ways to house people other than hotels that wanted to come to this tech conference. And so these guys volunteered the founders. I don't know if they were all living together or just like one or two of them were living together or whatever, but they volunteered. They're like, why don't we host people at our apartment? And they literally, I don't know the platform that they used. It wasn't like Airbnb.com like it is today, but it was like, maybe it was through Reddit or something like that, or maybe like some sort of, what do they call it? Online, like, community pages, some sort of like online community, like for the tech guys coming to this conference. Oh my God, I'm forgetting, I'm blanking on the word, but anyway, they were like, they hosted them on the floor of their apartment. They set up air mattresses, and they like set it up for them. They said they put like, I don't know if they put like little chocolates on the pillow, but they kind of like set it up to be hospitable. And they booked all the spaces they were trying to rent in their apartment for people to come to this tech conference and stay with them, and made a little bit of money doing it. And they said, well, why don't we expand this idea so that other people can rent out their spaces? And it just kind of grew from there. But I think that was like sort of the very first they were marketing it to like an online forum. That's not exactly the word, but you know what I mean.
It started as I thought it was Airbed B&B. That's cute.
I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it, or maybe the fact that they're like, it's sort of like an online B&B, like you're arbitraging other people's real estate, like you're booking a B&B through a platform that doesn't actually own the space. You know what I mean? I thought that was where the air came from, but it could have been either one. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. Necessity's the mother of invention. Always has been.
I don't know if we're finding anything distressed. Thought it might be a little bit difficult on the Cape, but we can look at this as like an Airbnb. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Coming from the guy.
Endless possibilities, including an ADU.
That is that's the move of the future for Massachusetts. I don't think we should model as a Airbnb. We don't have any Airbnbs.
We literally have no idea how to do that. That'd be guessing.
Guys, that's usually how it starts in real estate, though. I got no idea. I want to do it.
But if the numbers worked on something like this, and depending on the location, I mean, this is a price point where, these rentals on the on the Cape, like a 2-bedroom. I mean, I only know this because I recently booked an Airbnb for right after the wedding for a couple nights with the family. But I think we have a 3-bedroom, but a 2-bedroom you can probably get like $350 a night for. 400 maybe. It depends on the location and like, how good you are as a host, like how nice the place is. Like this is definitely clean enough. So like a bit of hospitality goes into it, like how good are your beds, obviously your reviews. If you have good reviews, you're able to charge more. If you have like amenities like fire pits, grills, things like that. But the quality of this space is very similar to what you would see. And if the location's good, yeah, I mean, I think like $350 a night is pretty good. I think, Airbnb takes a pretty good royalty, but they add in a bunch of like cleaning fees and shit. So like what you think is like $700 for 2 nights ends up being like $950, which is like annoying, but it's just, how it works. So obviously very seasonal here. But I don't know if the price is right for something like that. Maybe someone who does Airbnbs.
Bro, that's nauseating.
What?
$900 for 2 nights.
Yeah. Well, you know, if it's 2 bedrooms, you normally bring in like 4 people. So it's about the same price, if not cheaper. Or it's about the same price as like one of the motels would be. I mean, you don't have like a pool, but you do have privacy, and you have like, you know, you could cook and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, even if you're grossing 300 a night as the owner, times 365, but if you're at 50% occupancy, you're grossing like 54,000 a year.
Wow.
I have, you know, and then if you're gonna have some expenses, but say you're like owner operating it yourself, you know, I don't know what your expenses might be, but I don't know.
I mean, like, I
6%.
imagine you're probably gonna have like 30, I don't know. Plus the turn, well, I guess the cleaning is factored in. I mean, you're gonna have like normal expenses, like all your utilities, your taxes, your insurance, your pest control. I mean, what's that gonna be, like 35%?
Yeah, that's what I guessed. So, you know, that's 35,000 a year. You know, 10 cap, it makes it worth 355. You know, I have no idea if those you can figure out your expenses relatively easily. But there's some softwares you can use to figure out what your estimated gross revenue could be. But yeah, that's what you really have to find out. You know,
Yeah.
if you're grossing 300 a night, some 365, and your occupancy is like 70%, let's say, you know, because it's like, you know, let's say it's leased every day for the summer and, you know, a little bit like sprinkled throughout the rest of the year. $76,000 gross, 0.65, you know, and then at a 10 cap, it's worth 498. So yeah, that's kind of how you'd figure it out if that's what you're looking for. But anyway, we'll stop that there.
Congratulations, Harrison, on getting us to 88% performance.
That's right. Thank you. You know, couldn't do it without, you know, honestly, I don't even do that much these days. But build a business that you can remove yourself from, I guess. I mean, haven't completely done that by any stretch, but our team members are, we certainly wouldn't be there without them.
Yep. And we've gotten a couple wins now inside the fund, and some of these other additional buildings, we're going to be able to get them across the line, get those boys and girls cash flowing. It's going to be a good year. But 88% is awesome. I mean, a lot of people are budgeting for 90 and 95%, and you know, restabilizing a challenging portfolio and a challenging market and a challenging neighborhood, all that stuff's hard.
It is hard. Maybe some more in Falmouth. I'm switching up towns.
You're looking at different towns now?
Yeah, well, nothing distressed really.
Yeah.
Oh, built in 1997, no updates since then. No interior photos. This guy. Maybe this is a good one. It says built in 97, no updates since then. I mean, there's no interior photos, but I think if it's built in 97, we can kind of speculate a little bit.
No interior photos?
No, yeah, no interior photos. You're probably looking like kitchens and baths and curb appeal. You know, it looks well maintained, but if it's dated, and it also says it's listed for less than assessed value. Title 5 is done. Part of an estate sale.
Oh,
All right. So I'm just curious. Let's see if maybe this is in the realm. So if we go 42. Let's check a mile. All right. So it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,000 square feet. Maybe you can expand in the basement.
that one's cool. Love that big. I love those vaulted ceilings.
Yeah. Yeah, these are all much bigger. Only 1,000 square feet makes it tough. But I mean, this is double the size, but I guess it's under agreement for a bit less than asking if it was on for 182 days.
Yeah. More stuff is sitting on the market a little bit longer now.
Yeah, especially in markets where you're not like pressured to buy. Like in Falmouth, there's no pressure to buy. A lot of second homes. Not a huge demand for people to live there full time. This is a little bit tough to comp, I guess. $390 per square foot, $436 per square foot, but half the size. I don't know. I'm striking out on the Cape.
Dude, I think that's fair. I think that's just fine.
Yeah, I'm striking out on the Cape. Maybe there's a basement and you can expand living space into the basement. Let's see. Is there a basement? I don't see any. I was looking for like a window well or something.
So, I was just curious, and I went to apparently Daily Hampshire Gazette and Greenfield Recorder are our sources for what I'm about to speak from the voice of Chat GPT coming to you. I was like, all right, where do they want these? Apparently, they want approximately 222,000 new units by 2035. And I was like, well, where do they want them? Obviously a lot in Boston. But looking at a 7.5 to 10% increase in housing stock near Boston Metro, Northern Middlesex, Central Mass. This is just everywhere. Nantucket, okay, and the South Shore. So like, just Worcester over, and then 5 to 7.5% in the Pioneer Valley, Hampshire, Hampden counties. Let's see.
I'm checking Plymouth now. A lot of listings in Plymouth.
Berkshire County, Franklin County, and Cape Cod. These areas require less than a 2.5% increase in housing. The lower percentage reflects unique local factors. For instance, Cape Cod faces challenges with existing units being converted into seasonal luxury housing, emphasizing the need for targeted housing policies. You heard it here, boys and girls.
This is like a little shack. Plymouth. Not Plymouth. I like Plymouth.
I like Plymouth too. Plymouth is really nice.
Oh, here's a good one. Investors, Flippers, Contractors. 3 Birch Street.
Aw.
Look how charming this thing is. Let's do this guy. 3 Birch Avenue, excuse me. All right. 3. One mile, maybe? Looks like it was pretty close to the water. All right. Why are we doing this? Sold for $292, and now they have it relisted for $329.
That'll cover their selling expenses.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they bought it and they were like, oh, maybe this is or I wonder if they like cleaned it up or something. Like, yeah, they just cut down all the trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut down all the trees. All right. Well, whatever. Okay. So 1,200 square feet. Oh, this now says 1,577 square feet. Oh, actual measured 1,577. 3-bed, 2.5 bath, primary suite, first floor living. Seller, have too many projects that demand their attention. Let this one go. Okay.
Heard.
Yeah, I mean, been there. I get it. All right. So, what can we get? 1,500. What's top of market? 1,500 square feet. Let me. 1,200 to. Look at this guy. Wow.
You know, I love the American flag in the listing.
Me too. Fantastic downtown. 710, 3-bed, 1 bath. Wow. So maybe like interesting. I wonder what makes this one sell for 320 and this one sell for 380. Well, I guess 4 beds. Maybe bigger lot. 0.12 acres, 0.25. I mean, not really, a little bit. How many acres are we looking at here? 0.28. Okay. So where are we?
There's a flip.
Yeah, this looks like a flip. Did an okay job. What do you think?
It's gray.
It is gray. All right. 520.
We got numbers all around the place.
Yeah,
huh?
we got numbers all around the place. I'm trying to like. But this 590. There's got to be something wrong with this one. I mean, it did come back on market, which not to be too quick to judge.
I know that's what all nice virtual staging.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
what they
did a pretty good job. They probably could have done a better job. Again, not to judge. But and I think sometimes people kind of like lived-in houses, especially if it's family buying from another family, because they like to sort of envision their family there. And if it's set up like a family would have it set up, and like but like kind of neutral, so that they can envision themselves there. Sometimes it can kind of make a house that's lived in more appealing.
Wait, what's your thought process?
I think like. So if you're buying a 3-bed, 2-bath in Plymouth, the chances are you probably have a small family. And I think if you're buying a house for your family, it can people like to say, some people think they're like, oh, new is better, right? Well, I think not always. I think a very well maintained family house that a family is currently living in, that's sort of set up and designed like a family lives there, But when you go to sell it, maybe you make it a little bit more neutral so that a new family that's coming in and looking at it, can envision themselves there. That can sometimes be a bit more appealing than a sort of plain new. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I
You're like,
don't know.
oh,
I got
it feels more homey.
one was new, one was neutral, one's older, one's newer. Yeah. Yeah.
Like in more or less the same condition. Like it's just gonna feel more it's gonna feel more like it was designed for like because like a family is living there opposed to something that was just designed for like, well, anyone can come make this whatever they want.
Sure. And I think some people are a little hesitant on flip stuff in general,
Yeah.
um, which I can understand.
Yeah. So I mean, like I would like to think that this house winds up in the $600,000 range instead of the $500,000 range. You know what I mean? Like you have this one that's sitting at 500, but then you have this one that's a little smaller. I mean, 4 beds, but went for 590. Um, 3 beds, a little bit bigger, but went for 620. Kind of a similar style.
I mean, if we can sell it for 600, we need to be into it for about 420.
Which is, I would say, possible with this.
Obviously, if we can only get 5, we need to be into it for like 350.
Right. Which not possible.
Right.
So
they may have bought it at the right number.
Yeah, I mean, certainly buying it at 270 is better than buying it at 330. Or they bought it at 292. So, I could see that this went pretty quick. They probably got a number of offers, and 292 was the highest offer they got. It doesn't look a bad deal at 292.
We almost did a deal in Plymouth.
Which one?
It had it was a great location. It was a cape, and the ceilings were really low.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Back in our short sale days, I had a few appointments with a guy that lived in Plymouth.
Yeah, back in our short sale days.
I forget what happened. I don't know if anything ever happened to it. But there's also maybe an opportunity to expand down lower. You can see this, you can't, I guess there's no photos of it, but you could tell that there is a walkout element to this basement, or there could be. I'm sure there's a basement.
Yeah, not a lot to work with, but you can assume you're going to need new plumbing, heating, electrical, windows at that price point. Maybe you can refinish all those floors.
Yeah.
I love the cedar though.
Yeah, you're putting 100 into this, 120 maybe. Yeah, if you're redoing all the electrical and the plumbing, maybe a little higher. But yeah, the siding is in good. It looks like it's in pretty good condition. Just refurbish it. New roof. You can clean up the cedar, paint all the trim. Landscaping, doors, windows.
Flower boxes.
Flower boxes. You love your flower boxes.
I do. Especially on anything with cedar shake.
Yeah, good opportunity here. I certainly love this way more at 292. I think you can, I would want to figure out why there's a gap here. I mean, I don't think we have any parking either, which is something to think about. Oh no, 3 parking. Okay, so there must be somewhere, some driveway. Thought about that, but I want to hit this. I want to hit this 600 number. I mean, this one is well maintained, but I mean, it's not even a comp. like condition wise.
Yeah. But it's achieving our number.
Yep. And this one is a really good one. This is kind of what I'd want to make it look like. And even this, isn't updated in all aspects. In many aspects, it's not updated.
Yeah. This has got to be a location thing.
Gotta be
a location thing.
No, where's here? Let's pull that up. I forgot to pull up Google Maps. Three Birch, and then let me pull up these other two. This one. This one I think is downtown. This Washington Street one. But all right. I mean, this is close to downtown. Good looking location. Where's the Summer Street one? Oh. Main Road.
Yeah.
The difference between a neighborhood and a main road is wild. Yeah, and this was clearly a flip because they took down the trees, but busy intersection, much tougher sell.
Yeah, totally. Peekaboo.
And this one's right downtown, so this isn't the house. Wait, is this? What is it? 4 Washington Street? It's this one.
Yeah, there she is.
Is that it?
Yep.
No, it's different. Why am I on Pleasant Street? Oh. There we go. It won't take me. It's up there. It won't take me up there.
Oh, okay.
So it's still neighborhood downtown. I would say this is a better comp than this one.
Yeah.
So, I think because this isn't a neighborhood. I mean, not as ideal or not as not as charming as like a little downtown street, but it is, off of the main road and much more of a neighborhood look and feel. This also looks like a one-way road, which is nice.
Super charming.
Yeah, super charming. So I don't think 600 is out of the question. Maybe 575 to be safe.
Huh. Look at that, everybody.
92 is the right number.
It's definitely removes a lot of the risk.
Yep.
Removes a lot of the risk. So,
but if you're a contractor and you got a bunch of cash and you just want to do it yourself, there's always a situation where you can still be profitable at 320, 330. Maybe certainly not but if you're paying yourself for your own labor and you're using a lot of your own money, it works.
Go in there, do everything yourself, guys. Start a house flipping TV show, live in it, document it, make it a crazy experience. Maybe you'll get a show.
Yeah, and if you want to buy this and live in it, it's a much better deal.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. I like Plymouth. Every time I go down there, I'm like, oh, this is such a nice area.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's America.
It may have been like outside of your Scituate or Cohasset or one of those like sort of almost Cape-like or Duxbury, like uppity, Hingham, uppity South Shore towns, like Plymouth was like my favorite South Shore town. That was like, this feels accessible.
Yeah. Yeah. Plymouth Rock. Slightly smaller than I expected.
And I don't think it's the original Rock.
All right, cool. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Find That Flip. I'm Alex with WREI, Mr. Boner with WREI. We will see you soon. Bye. Peace.